all mixed up.
All right, we're back, and it's Al and Dr. Jim Rogers with you. Stephen will be with us a little bit later. Glad you could be with us. We're talking about the Cars going into break. So like I said, that was the first cassette I bought. I was blown away. You know, a lot of people, when they think about the Cars, they think about Rick Ocasek because of the MTV videos.
Right.
But Benjamin Orr was really the driving voice behind that group, which you heard him right there. He, to me, had the perfect rock and roll voice. It's just almost hauntingly good. And he died at a rather young age.
Yeah.
Kasich also has passed away. Easton and Ray Hawks was alive. I think something recent. They played somewhere together. And someone had the voice there for the songs too. But I really don't
Will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-869-2045. That's 800-869-2045. What do you have to lose? Call 800-869-2045. Again, 800-869-2045.
Now back to Talkback. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back, and unfortunately, we're pretty much out of time with Dr. Rogers, but enjoyed having you, and I'm sure we'll have you on again soon.
Blaze, it's just Jim. Dr. Rogers is not on the radio. I'm just Jim.
We'll just call it Jim Rogers Neighborhood.
Yeah.
When you fill in.
Funny thing was, I used to complain about being Mr. Rogers. I don't anymore. It's just Jim or Rogers or Hey You.
Well, you don't wear sweaters, I've noticed.
No, I do not wear sweaters. I have a cardigan, though.
All right. Well, thanks for sitting in with us. We appreciate it. And Stephen will be joining us coming up in hour number 2.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Zenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYO, and KRRV 100.3 HD3, Alexandria. It's 8 o'clock.
Waiting on the details, CJ Pop of Fox News, from President Trump's so-called economic D-Day targeting the bank account of the Islamic Republic, which already is reeling from a direct hit. Fox's Trey Inc. explains from Tel Aviv.
The economic pressure comes as the Iranian rial crossed $2 million to $1 US, a historic low for the country's currency. The head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council responded on X, saying if the economic war continues, not a single drop of oil will be exported, neither through the Strait of Hormuz nor from anywhere in the Persian Gulf. Iran will regard any country's participation in or support for America's economic war against the Iranian people as an act of war. Despite this statement, reports do indicate that crossings through the Strait of Hormuz are up 400% over the last 2 weeks. The United States is overseeing vessels out of the Persian Gulf through a safer southern passage.
Well, things like natural honey, essential oils, candles, hockey sticks, as well as paper goods on President Trump's 50% tariff on those goods from Canada, their leader, over the weekend.
We recognize that some U.S. companies and some U.S. states are innocent bystanders in a dispute that they did not want.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney, whose countermove could begin September 8th. Coming up shortly, what could be the final day of testimony in front of a Massachusetts jury, which will decide the fate of Lindsay Clancy, the mom accused of killing her 3 kids.
The witness taking the stand will continue from Friday, and it's Dr. Avram Mack, a forensic psychiatrist, who testified on Friday that he believes that Lindsay Clancy was not suffering from postpartum psychosis and that she knew the difference between right and wrong when she killed her 3 children. He interviewed her 2 times and reviewed her medical file as well. The jury heard about that. This case has really become a competing story from 2 expert witnesses.
Fox's Nate Foy outside the courthouse in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Closing arguments could begin as soon as today. America's listening to Fox News.
Everyone walks through seasons of uncertainty, but you don't have to walk through them alone. At intouch.org, you'll find messages of hope, biblical truth, and encouragement from Dr. Charles Stanley, available anytime you need it. Dive into devotionals, watch sermons, or explore resources that help you draw closer to God day by day. When you're ready to refocus your heart and renew your faith, visit intouch.org. It may be exactly what your soul needs today.
Here it comes! Surprise! The people above your catering business are doing major construction! And the drilling is only during business hours! So loud!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting personalized discounts on a commercial auto quote with Progressive.
Also, that isn't powdered sugar on the floor, it's plaster from your ceiling!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Interim Senator Darlene Graham wants to run in November, but she has to defeat fellow Republican Congressman Ralph Norman.
Tomorrow is the runoff to replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham, and President Trump has put his political capital behind Darlene Graham, campaigning with her in Myrtle Beach on Friday. Graham has never held elected office. She faces new scrutiny after a debate last week when she was asked whether Taiwan and the South China Sea are national security issues for the United States. She responded saying, "I'm not that informed on national security, and foreign policy is not an area of her expertise." Her late brother, Senator Lindsey Graham, spent decades as one of the state's and Senate's most prominent voices on foreign policy and national security.
Fox's Alex Hogan. At least 6 people suffering injuries from the Hawk Fire in Reno, Nevada. 3 are first responders. No containment so far. 15,000 acres have been burned. That number expected to rise.
Speaking of the wind direction, it's very key, especially when you consider Reno. That's where we have a lot of people living. And if we see a wind shift, not only could that change the direction of the fire growth, but it's going to bring in the poor air quality with the smoke. Right now in the overnight hours, calmer winds coming in from the southwest. That's actually probably the best wind flow you can have, because although there's not a lot of moisture, that is the direction where you could get a little more moisture in the atmosphere. Relative humidity as we go into the afternoon will be dropping. Right now we're sitting about 30-35%, which is typical for the overnight. But in the afternoon, we drop down to the teens. And so that very dry air is not going to be helpful to the fire fight.
Fox Weather's Britta Merwin. American race car driver Kyle Kirkwood hangs on to win the Freedom 250 car race in our nation's capital.
There was definitely something special about racing in the streets of D.C., having the Capitol building behind you as a backdrop, the monument. This was one of the first races that in qualifying and at the end of the race, I took a moment to get the sights.
Kirkwood on Fox and Friends this morning. I'm CJ Papa, and this is Fox News.
Radio Network. I'm Sean Burns. University Medical Center New Orleans Expanded Cancer Center officially opens at 11 this morning. Here's Andrew Greenstein.
Dr. Amelia Jernigan with UMC New Orleans says they needed the additional space because they've seen a 20% growth in patients being diagnosed with and treated for cancer year over year, and they've added dozens of new providers to help care for cancer patients.
Everyone who's ever had a cancer diagnosis knows they want to get in quickly. So having the space to have enough providers to get people in fast for frontline care is really important.
With the expansion, the number of exam rooms goes from 9 to 18 in the main cancer center, along with an additional 10 in the annex. I'm Andrew Greenstein.
An 8-year-old Ruston area girl has died after contracting a rare brain-eating amoeba infection contracted during a recent swim at Lake Claiborne. Lillian Smart died Saturday from severe brain injuries caused by Naegleria fowleri, a microscopic amoeba that leads to primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. Little Lillian died just a day after her 8th birthday. LRN. Amazon Web Services will hold an open house tomorrow at the Shreveport Convention Center to discuss the 3 data centers they're building in the Shreveport-Bossier area. There are concerns about how much water and electricity the facilities will use. AWS Vice President of Economic Development Roger Weiner says that data centers will use water for cooling only when temperatures climb above 85 degrees, which he says is expected to happen less than 13% of the year.
When we add just that little bit of water that we'll use, that will reduce our energy demand by 25 to 35%, reducing the total load on the grid.
A new vaccine to reduce the risk of melanoma returning is showing great promise. Dr. Catherine Chang with LSU Health Shreveport says the vaccine by Merck and Moderna is patient-specific based on their genetic profile, taken in combination with immunotherapy drug Keytruda, and she says clinical trials have been quite successful.
For patients that had more advanced disease, they had much less rates of recurrence, and cure rates were higher in the long term.
LRN.
Summer in Louisiana doesn't take it easy, and neither should your home. If your air conditioner is struggling to keep up with the heat, the experts at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing are ready to help. And don't forget, summer storms can do more than knock out power. Heavy rain can expose hidden plumbing issues before they become costly repairs. Whether you need fast AC service or expert plumbing solutions, trust the team that's been keeping families comfortable for years. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing today.
Well, good morning. Increasing cloudiness on our Monday and a heat advisory yet again in effect as afternoon high temps get up to between 100 and 102. That heat index could be as high as 110 this afternoon. Tonight, slight chance of showers overnight, about a 20% chance, otherwise partly cloudy. That will get down to 78. And then more sunshine, maybe a titch cooler tomorrow. Afternoon highs near 99. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian. It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Welcome back, everyone. It's hour number 2 of Talkback here on your Monday morning. I'm Al Quartermont. Stephen joins us now. Stephen, tomorrow is the 50th anniversary of the release of Boston's debut album.
Oh, had that on my calendar.
Iconic.
Good songs there.
Game changer group.
You say you're having more than a feeling about it?
Yeah. There's something about you. So I figured I'd play a little bit of that today, a day ahead of it, because I didn't figure that Nathan would play too much of it tomorrow. Although you've been running the board lately. So Nathan might dial up a Steve Green song for you.
Or, yeah. He'd think it's Boston, Massachusetts anniversary.
Yeah.
Hey, Nathan knows some music.
He does. I'm just teasing. But yeah, it's hard to fathom as a Gen Xer that something that iconic is 50 years old. 50. Wow. I think it was about 15 years ago, Boston was doing a tour, and they came through Central Louisiana. They were playing down in Kinder at the Coshada Casino venue that they have there. And I had a friend that worked on their crew, and he said they needed one other person to help. So I got to help him. He had the camera right in front of the stage, so I was basically helping him with the chords. So I'm at the very front of the stage watching Boston play, and I was having a hard time just focusing on the work I was supposed to do because I was too enraptured with watching Tom Schultz with a bank of amplifiers behind him, like no digital music at all. It's just all that amazing analog sound that we've lost.
In 30 years, me and the other, I'm sure it'll be a different talk show host with me.
Probably so.
Unless there's a miracle. We'll be talking about, our big album from when I was a kid, the Carter 3 by Lil Wayne. I can't believe it's 50 years. I can't believe Millie is 50 years old now. And I'm like, hey, I remember when Al, I don't know if y'all remember him, but Al, he was talking about Boston's 50th. It's 80 years old today now.
Wise guy.
You never know. You might live a long time there.
Just wait.
Or you might be living, but just probably be one of our old crotchety callers at the house.
That's right. I'm going to call on my speakerphone.
I'll call when your kid's like, hey, can you check on your dad? He's talking about stuff again.
Oh, my goodness. All right, welcome back to hour number 2 of Talkback here on KSYL. I'm Al. He's Steven. And look forward to catching up with you. Did you have a good weekend? Do anything fun or interesting?
Just family birthday parties.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We have one every week.
Is that right?
There's 95 family members on her side. So.
That's something they like to, they enjoy celebrating, I've noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Her family.
They celebrate everything.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I would rather that than the opposite.
That's true. Get nothing and like it.
No.
All right, 318-442-8255. It's the number on TalkBack. As we have an open line hour for you here, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on TalkBack.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Stephen said crotchety caller, so I figured I'd dial up. Nathan may play some Keith Green tomorrow instead of Steve Green.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Maybe Lee Greenwood.
That's good stuff, too. I was actually calling about the inflation discussion that you and Dr. Rogers were having. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to echo his admonition to everybody to study Thomas Sowell. Thomas Sowell and Milton Friedman are Murray Rothbard are the ones that I really learned a lot from. They made a lot of things that were hazy clear. But Milton Friedman would disagree with his definition of inflation. Friedman always maintained that only the government can inflate the currency, and the inflation is that the rise in prices is the effect. The government inflates. I mean, it's like if there was only one thing in the world, a widget, and there was only $1, the widget would cost $1, and then a Democrat would come along and say, "Oh, you've got a liquidity problem. Let me help you out. Here's another $1." Well, now he just caused that widget to cost $2, and we experienced 100% inflation. But the real reason we're in a problem is not because of economic basics. It's because the Democrats have convinced us, most of them with very pure motives, some with very nefarious motives to control, that there are some people in our country that just cannot take care of themselves, and we need to take care of them no matter what it costs. And that number keeps growing. And I'm all for a safety net system. I think it's a healthy thing for a country to restore its citizens, but it needs to be restorative in intent, not just maintaining, not just carrying these people, because when you carry them, it strips them of their personal inventiveness and their ambition, and it causes them to it takes away their opportunity to win their own self-respect. So we could spend the same amount of money or even less to build a fund that a person could draw from when they ran into trouble and hard times, because everybody runs into trouble and hard times, and then pay back. And then at the end of their life, they would have their Social Security, whatever that yielded. It could be invested in the market, and then they could get statements saying this is how much you're going to have at 67 if you retire, or at 65 or at 62, and they could see that money growing. If they needed to draw from it, they could draw from it, but then they would be have the opportunity to pay it back, or if not, then they would just get a reduced pension in the end, or Social Security Administration. But that's our problem. They have made it where they've used what's that term you use all the time? Our own goodness against us. We hate to see people suffer. And so they've taken that desire and they use it to justify sending tax dollars to people who didn't work for those dollars and making us still feel guilty for earning the dollars. And so here we are. There's a term you use, Al.
Toxic empathy?
Yes. We have empathy for these people. We don't want to see them suffer, but we're going down the tube. Because what's going to happen when that 40 trillion turns to 80 trillion and eventually collapses? Then those people won't be taken care of. No one is going to be taken care of. So to take care of someone in a state that you can't maintain is not care. It's just pushing death back, or their demise back. So we'll either get control of this or it'll eat us. But we're going to pay $1 trillion just in debt maintenance this year. Crazy. $1 trillion. Not to mention that these people are not productive. We beat the Soviet Union because we've outproduced them. Yep. The American worker is the most productive person that the planet has ever seen. And when these people are stripped of their personal ambition, then they're sitting home and they're not being productive. So that's a load. And I know we want people to have their dignity. There's no dignity in being carried by other people. There's no dignity in that. I understand some people are hurt. Some people, have physical problems, but the vast majority of the people that are on state subsidies are healthy, and they could be doing their load. Anyways, thanks for letting me speak my piece. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Yeah, I saw a video over the weekend on X from a woman named Taylor Kennedy, who actually is a monetary analyst, hosts the Tailor-Made Economics show, and this was her take on what's happening with this $40 trillion debt.
It's official. The U.S. just admitted it, which means no one is safe from what's coming next, not your wallet, your paychecks, your savings, your cost of living. In fact, life as you know it is about to change. In case you missed it today, the U.S. announced that we are buying back our own debt because nobody else wants it. I'm a monetary analyst. It's what I do for a living. I study the dollar. And a year ago, almost to the day, I predicted that yield curve control was coming, which is essentially when the U.S. Ponzi scheme really kicks into high gear and is exactly what we're seeing today. Instead of the Fed issuing new currency to buy the debt, the U.S. Treasury is issuing more debt to buy our existing debt so we can keep issuing more debt. And if that sounds confusing, it's because it is. You don't need to know all the technical details. All you have to know is that the media is going to tell you that this is not technically quantitative easing, that inflation will not rise because of this, but do not be fooled. What they're counting on people not realizing is that yield curve control was used here in the U.S. during World War II, when spending exploded and there were no buyers of debt. So what did they do? They said, we'll just buy our own debt. This will guarantee that interest rates won't rise that much because the second they do, we'll just keep buying all the debt. Which sounds great in theory. They saved the system, but guess who paid? Everyday Americans. In just a few years, inflation jumped up to 18%. Can you afford if every single bill in your life jumps up another 18%? But not only that, the debt today is 10 times what it was during World War II in real terms. That means inflation adjusted, meaning that today's fallout would be far worse. We could be looking at not only double-digit inflation, but far greater than 18%. What this is really telling us is that the U.S. is growing more and more desperate, and that they're having to step in at a much more frequent rate. And every time throughout history that a country has had to do that, it always results in higher inflation for the citizens. Now, to be clear, what's happening today isn't technically yield curve control yet, but it is the first sign of what's to come next. And if I were you, I would be paying very close attention to what's coming next, because every dollar you have, whether that's dollars in your wallet, in your bank account, your paycheck, they could be devalued like that.
That's encouraging.
Oh, they're like, pay attention. What are we going to do?
I know. Yeah, that's just it. I mean,
I think since I've been alive, I've heard debt doomsday.
Yeah.
Like, oh, in the next year, it's all going to collapse. In the next year, it's all going to collapse. I'm not saying it won't, but that's all I've heard since the beginning of my political consciousness.
Sure.
So, we'll see. And we'll see, you know, a lot of the Iran war, of course, it's about, you know, protecting ourselves from people who say they want death to America, but it's also about the energy and the oil in that area and controlling the future, you know? So, it's chess. They're playing chess.
That's right. And I have a mind for checkers.
That's right.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Cenla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-869-2045 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-869-2045. That's 800-869-2045. What do you have to lose? Call 800-869-2045. Again, 800-869-2045.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Sinlah's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt in your mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
The Federal Reserve has revealed that U.S. NGOs have more in assets than the combined 2025 GDP estimates for Japan, Germany, and India combined. India and Japan's GDP each just over $4 trillion, Germany $5 trillion, about $13.5 trillion together. Guess what? The combined assets held by U.S. NGOs equals $14.2 trillion of your tax money and that of your children and grandchildren and great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Ever wonder why everything is so absolutely unaffordable today? It's not actually rocket science. Government has forgotten the fundamental reasons for which it was formed, to serve and protect our civil liberties. It has inverted the entire formula and decided that we are the ones here to serve, to work, and through our individual labors to support their desires and the behemoth of a bureaucracy that has emanated from those desires.
All right. So, kind of a theme here this morning. The way we're getting ripped off by our government. Affordability, baby.
Well, the behemoth of the bureaucracy.
Yes, sir. NGOs. You heard what she said? The NGOs, which that's all directly coming through actions by Congress. And you know what happens with that money? It goes to the NGOs, and then they donate it back to the congressman. It's so corrupt.
You should make an NGO.
I should. Yes.
I might make one too.
To make Al richer fund.
And they'll think it means AI, and everyone will buy into it.
That's right. That's right. I'll just put the Al fund, and they'll think it's AI.
We should have Al AI.
Yes, we should. I'm gonna work on that. All right. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
It's difficult for me to kind of get a handle on what's real and what's not real.
Yeah.
I don't think that the fact that I can't figure out what's real and not is real. I don't know.
I know what you're saying.
I think the government has I really do believe the government has Republican, and I don't think we have two political parties. I think we have one, and they're working both sides. They're pulling. I just don't. I don't know. And so I just think they're all treated like mushrooms.
What was that?
I mean?
I didn't hear that part.
I think they're all treating us like mushrooms.
Like mushrooms. Oh man. Yeah, I could see your point. All right.
You can't handle the truth.
Wait, aren't there mushrooms in the Mario games? Mario Kart?
Mm-hmm. Mario.
Is that what he's referring to?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. It could be.
I knew people.
Maybe he thinks we're fungus.
I knew people back in the 80s that would smoke mushrooms, but that's a whole different thing.
You know Puff the Magic Dragon? You remember Meet the Parents? And Ben Stiller's in there with De Niro, and they're driving. They're talking to each other the first time, and De Niro plays Puff the Magic Dragon, and he's like, "Oh, you like this song?" He's like, "Well, you know what Puff Magic Dragon means?" He's like, "Puff, Mary Jane, marijuana." He's like, "No, it's a dragon that lives by the sea for kids." And, you like smoking weed, Greg? He didn't say Greg, but I don't want to get confused with another name. So. You saw they're coming out with a third one, huh?
Are they?
Did you watch Meet the Parents?
I did, yeah.
I watch it at least once or twice a year.
It was pretty funny.
Oh, it's It's probably my favorite movie of all time.
I just can't really stomach to watch De Niro.
Just get over it. They're just actors, man. They just play other people for a living. It don't matter.
Just get over it.
Just get over it.
I think the last De Niro movie I saw was him and it was like a boxing movie. Or like they were old boxers that come out of retirement.
I never saw that one, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. De Niro and was it Stallone?
I think it was Stallone.
Something like that. So.
Such a great movie.
Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. Boy, I tell you what, UPS Dave leaves a lot of stuff to unpack, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, Stephen. That's a good one right there, buddy. You win the internet for today.
Mm-hmm.
Something, if y'all, I don't know if Nathan did it or you did it, but go to YouTube and Google Jordan Peterson, the scariest IQ statistic. It's about a 3-minute clip, and where he talks about what do we do with about 8 to 10% of our society who are not intelligent enough to function properly in a highly technical society.
The scariest. What did you say?
The scariest IQ statistic, Jordan Peterson.
I gotcha.
You know, he's a psychologist, I think, out of Canada.
Yeah.
He's very much pro-American. Anyway, it's quite interesting, and you know, a lot of what we're seeing, I think, when you're talking about inverting the deal, what we're really looking at is feudalism 2.0. And if you know what feudalism is,
yeah,
I don't know. You probably do. Stephen might have to Google it since I don't know how good his history teachers were back then. But just had to poke a little there.
I know his ag teacher.
But yeah, during the Middle Ages, yeah, you know, there was gentry landlords, and everybody pretty much worked for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was Europe. So
yeah, we're kind of developing corporate feudalism.
That's really, you know, exactly. Anyway, yeah, Jordan Peterson, the scariest IQ statistic. If y'all want to, if you want to play it, it's quite good.
Okay. All right.
And you know, what are we going to do with people who are less than an 83 IQ? And it's about 8% of the population.
Wow.
Remember, if you're a 100, 49% are dumber than you.
Wow. So I got that going for me.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, y'all have a good day.
Thank you. All right, we'll be right back.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk Line at 442-8255.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. It is a risk-off start to a busy week. In the early going, we're seeing weakness in technology shares. Traders are preparing for Federal Reserve Chair Kevin Warsh to speak on Friday. That's an event that is taking on added significance after concerns over ballooning budget deficits and persistent inflation. And AI bellwether NVIDIA is scheduled to report earnings on Wednesday. We're also going to get an important read on inflation in the middle of the week. Walmart this week introducing a new women's line of clothing. It's called Scenario, and most of the items will cost less than $25. Last week, the world's largest retailer reported its weakest quarterly sales growth in over 6 years. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent set to announce details of the U.S. effort to economically isolate Iran later today. Tehran threatened to halt all crude exports to the Strait of Hormuz and Persian Gulf if the U.S. campaign continues. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Starting a business shouldn't feel overwhelming. At Janney King Gulf Coast, we give you a clear, proven path to ownership. You receive guaranteed initial counts, local support, and the training you need to succeed from day one. For over 35 years, we've helped people turn steady careers into thriving businesses, and you could be next. Start your journey today at JannyKingCleans.com.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Well, good morning. Increasing cloudiness on our Monday and a heat advisory yet again in effect as afternoon high temps get up to between 100 and 102. That heat index could be as high as 110 this afternoon. Tonight, slight chance of showers overnight, about a 20% chance, otherwise partly cloudy. We'll get down to 78. And then more sunshine, maybe a titch cooler tomorrow. Afternoon highs near 99. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Now back to Talkback 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, welcome back, everyone. It's Talk Back on a Monday. Alan Stephen with you. As a group, I don't know how many people in this area would remember the Bodines. They actually were a Milwaukee area band that was really big in the 80s. The only reason I bring it up is I noticed that they're going to be playing at the Manship Theater coming up on Wednesday, September 16th, down in Baton Rouge. So some of you might remember that group. People that really get deep into the music, but kind of an iconic group, actually, that was very localized, regionalized, but kind of had that Gin Blossom sound, I guess you would say. All right, so per our caller, Jordan Peterson, here's what he's talking about with the IQ thing.
Terrifying statistics I ever came across was one detailing out the rationale of the United States Armed Forces for not allowing you can't induct anyone into the armed forces in the U.S. if they have an IQ of less than 83. Okay, so let's just take that apart for a minute because it's a horrifying thing. So the U.S. Armed Forces has been in the forefront of intelligence research since World War I because they were on board early with the idea that, especially during wartime when you're ramping up quickly, that you need to sort people effectively and essentially without prejudice so that you can build up the officer corps so you don't lose the damn war. Okay, so there's real motivation to get it right? Because it's a life and death issue. So they used IQ. They did a lot of the early psychometric work on IQ. Okay, so that's the first thing. They're motivated to find an accurate predictor, so they settle on IQ. The second thing was the United States Armed Forces is also really motivated to get people into the armed forces, peacetime or wartime. Wartime, well, for obvious reasons. Peacetime because, well, first of all, you got to keep the armed forces going. And second, you can use the armed forces during peacetime as a way of taking people out of the underclass and moving them up into the working class or the middle class, right? You can use it as a training mechanism. And so and left and right can agree on that. You know, it's a reasonable way of promoting social mobility. So again, the armed forces, even in peacetime, is very motivated to get as many people in as they possibly can. And it's difficult as well. It's not that easy to recruit people, so you don't want to throw people out if you don't have to. So what's the upshot of all that? Well, after 100 years, essentially, of careful statistical analysis, the armed forces concluded that if you had an IQ of 83 or less, there wasn't anything you could possibly be trained to do in the military at any level of the organization that wasn't positively counterproductive. Okay, you think, well, so what? 83, okay. Yeah, 1 in 10. 1 in 10. That's 1 in 10 people. And what that really means, that, as far as I can tell, is if you imagine that the military is approximately as complex as the broader society, which I think is a reasonable proposition, then there's no place in our cognitively complex society for 1 in 10 people. So what are we going to do about that? The answer is no one knows. You say, well, shovel money down the hierarchy. It's like the problem isn't lack of money. I mean, sometimes that's the problem, but the problem is rarely absolute poverty. It's rarely that. It is sometimes, but rarely. It's not that easy to move money down the hierarchy. So, first of all, it's not that easy to manage money. So, it's a vicious problem, man. And so,
it's hard to train people to become creative, adaptive, problem solvers.
It's impossible. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can
Well, it might take
interfere with
6
your cognitive
years,
ability,
but
you can't do that. Its training doesn't work.
It's not
going to
work in 6 months, but it could work in 6 years.
No, it doesn't work. Sorry.
All right. So on that note, I think George Carlin said it well when he said, think of how stupid the average person is and then realize half of them are stupider than that.
Yeah. I really don't know what to say, to be honest with you. Jordan Peterson's, he's really good sometimes, but sometimes I listen and it's like, we think the trees are green, but could it be blue and yellow? Are they a shadow of something else? That's something we have to ponder for the future.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, that's interesting,
Just shows we have some societal issues. And what do you do about it?
That's probably been the issue from the
There's
start.
so many jokes on my head right now, but I feel like if I were to say them, I would get myself in trouble, so I'm just going to stop there.
How do you know we have a good IQ? It could be not really
That's
so
right.
good.
That's right. We don't talk so good here on this radio, hey?
You never know. You might be stuck at 80 and 79. You don't even know it.
That may be true. Our audience might concur. In fact, let's give them a chance. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
You rung a bell with that last presentation.
Ding,
when
ding.
I was in the... Yep, it did. Ding, ding. When I was in the Aleutians, the armed forces had something called, I think, Project 50,000. And the idea was to take people who were just below the IQ level that was acceptable for military service and put them into service and somehow or another train them along the way. And we wound up with one of these guys out there at the end of the Aleutians. And the sad thing was that he basically didn't have a clue. And it wasn't a case of him trying to be unpleasant or unnice or anything else. He just was mentally deficient. And the biggest problem we had was we rotated the people around on the check-in line. And some of the people paid for their meals separately. Others got their meals in their, part of their rations. And anyway, the bottom line was some wise-ass sergeant came up and for breakfast, which was 25 cents, tried to get the guy to make him change for a $20 bill. And I never found out who that sergeant was, but I would have made life miserable for him if I had. And the poor guy just kind of melted down. And so that was the last time we ever had him checking people in.
Interesting.
And I understand the good works and the reason why you want to do things like that, but sometimes it just can't work.
Right.
And you have to have special systems for those people.
True.
The road to Hades is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, definitely. You can't question the intentions, right?
Yeah, well, it's kind of like Mondami putting all the bodegas out of business in New York City, and they were talking about the possibility of giving supplements to the bodegas so that they wouldn't have to go out of business. Well, sometimes people get to the level of incompetence, and I think Mondami is at his level of incompetence.
Yep, people are voting for him. All right, well, we'll be right back. Thank you for the call.
Taking part in the show is easy. Call the BOM Bank Talk Line at 442-8255.
Looking for beautiful quality furniture? Try Trotters. New appliances? Try Trotters. Get all the major brands, Sub-Zero, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, and more. Need outdoor furniture? Try Trotters. And for a good night's sleep, shop Sinlaw's largest selection of mattresses by Sealy, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns & Foster. For all your home needs, try the new Trotters today at 2300 South MacArthur Drive on the traffic circle. Trotters, Louisiana's largest electronics, appliance, and furniture store.
Hey, Louisiana, it's Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. This September, Keep Louisiana Beautiful will launch Love Our Waterways, a month-long statewide cleanup to help preserve the beauty of all our waterways, including our lakes, rivers, and bayous. Volunteer to clean up litter by boat or on land along the shore. Get on board at lovelawaterways.org. That's lovelawaterways.org. I'll see you there.
Now back to Talk Back 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back on Talk Back. Let's go back to the phones as well. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, they've got an answer to all of these things that's being discussed. It's called transhumanism.
Transhumanism?
Yeah. I mean, they were speaking on there the other day about the chip that has been developed to make blind people, even if they were blind at birth, able to see, implanting the chip. Talking about how people that's never walked or people that are completely paralyzed, and now they're implanting the chip and they're able to walk. And the conversation went on, and they said within 7 to 10 years, they'd have this chip developed, and anybody that wanted it, get it.
Mm-hmm.
They said, and the people on is retarded from then on.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make the transhumanism, the marriage of man and computer, so much more supreme that regular people's going to be left behind, but if they don't have the chip involved. So, I mean, and if people our age, I mean, we just don't understand that, but you see the dumbing down of the kids, and, I mean, that's going to be the answer. I mean, if you start with a clean slate, you know, you'll just have a superhuman race, supposedly. And anyway, you just kind of see everything bottlenecking to that, like a funnel. When you see all this electronic stuff coming on board, all these data centers coming around, all electronic money. I mean, everything that's in the air right now is being developed.
Yeah.
Toward that. So, anyway, y'all have a good day.
All right. Thank you. Steven, what you got?
Oh, I'm just listening. I mean, we were talking about, you know, the welfare system.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about debt and this, that, and the other. But we don't have to worry about us, probably. I don't want to say not worry. It's not going to be us taking care of other people. It's just going to be computers over us all. AI over everybody. Yeah, that's what important people are talking about.
AI Uber all us? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. You'll have AI Boston. They'll never die.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really quite sure what we're talking about. Because I feel like we've been everywhere. I don't even know. I'm like waiting for the crux of the story of this hour. I don't know what we're even talking about.
I don't know if we've gotten there yet.
Okay.
It's progressing, though.
Probably I'm one of those low IQ individuals.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Maybe it's what Spencer Pratt posted this morning. Posted a video, but it's like 10 minutes long, so I can't play it. But it basically says, We've lost our damn minds. The Lindsay Clancy mass psychosis proves a lot of people need to have their Wi-Fi taken away. But that psychosis started many years before TikTok. That looks intriguing. Might have to watch that. But I think to summarize what we're saying is we're living in a time right now where I think people are trying to figure out, like, what exactly is our footing? What can you kind of hold to? What can you kind of trust in? Because the foundations that we've known for so long seem like they are just teetering on the brink. And I think that has a lot of people just sort of wondering, what is next? Everything feels a little scary, a little iffy, whether it's economy, whether it's the political landscape, whether it's the technology, all of that, I think, is sometimes it just bubbles up on a show like this where we allow people to have an open forum and say whatever they want to say.
No, it makes sense. And, there's, your parents of young children, you're kind of concerned about what it's going to look like the next 20, 30 years and what society's going to look like. And, you try and advise your children, at least from a practical standpoint. And I'm sure that I'm going to be raised in a completely dramatically different way, in a different world than what they're going to grow up in.
Yeah.
Much more so dramatic than you compared to me, I believe.
Yeah.
And so that makes it nerve-wracking.
Now, sometimes I wonder, like, if for us that are Gen X, if we didn't have, like, the last kind of just pure good growing up experience. Because I think technology has really impaired that to a large degree for people.
Well, hey, y'all raised us. Maybe that's what's wrong. Y'all are at fault. Y'all are the ones who raised us, put us together, molded us into who we are. Technology is completely different, now than it was when you were a kid, but you compared to human history was very technologically advanced too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you mean like we got to play outside and, weren't overly consumed by media, but it looks like y'all were overly consumed by media. You know what I mean? Like, everything about Boston and wrestling and baseball, like it's
that's fair.
Very media heavy and media centric, influenced by something.
Yeah.
So, but now it's in your pocket, and now it talks back to you, and now it can think faster than you, and can articulate arguments better than you, and then one day it's going to have a body, and it'll be able to plumb better than you, and teach better than you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have a real human dignity crisis. It's going to be a problem. And it's a rushing river of expansion of AI, and there's no dam to block it, or at least slow it down. And then there'll be no regulation in place to hopefully protect us. So it's just kind of a scary moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't really have all those fears. I just don't.
Well, I'm not sitting here trembling about it, but it's definitely a concerning scenario if it goes the wrong way. And that's not from me, that's just from people who say it.
Yeah.
We know the ultimate goal for someone, I believe in Jesus and God, but we know the ultimate goal, but doesn't mean there's going to be tremendous suffering between them if we're not careful, And so the human dignity is going to be a big issue moving forward, I'm sure.
Yeah, no doubt. But there are other institutions where you find that I believe will continue to go strong, like the church.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a break.
Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show, is now everywhere you are. Talkback is now streaming live on X at Cenla Update, plus Facebook and YouTube at KSYL.
Why are dentures like stars? They come out at night. Why do ghosts wear dentures? For a beautiful smile.
Tired of denture jokes? Maybe it's time for a change. And the experienced staff at Today's Dental in Pineville really deliver. Trade those nasty old dentures for a beautiful new smile. Their highly trained staff has the dental implant procedure mastered, now with thousands of satisfied and smiling patients. They make dental implant surgery simple, using today's most current technologies along with in-office IV sedation, administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. This is now a low-anxiety, relaxed, and easy procedure that, with numerous numerous finance options is affordable for any budget. Lose those dentures, lose the glue and hassle, and start enjoying your smile again. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Koche. That's 448-4540.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Do you have a history of those dreadful calcium oxalate stones? Well, Kidney Cop is here to help. Shown in laboratory testing to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. Yes, 99%. Don't wait. Start taking Kidney Cop Calcium Oxalate Protector today. That's Kidney Cop, C-O-P, Kidney Cop. Order today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com. That's Amazon, Walmart, or KidneyCop.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we got a little breaking sports news this morning. The Houston Astros, whose games you can hear over on our ESPN station, they have fired their general manager, Dana Brown. The team had a pretty embarrassing weekend, but I don't know, just been kind of a rough go of it for the Astros, who still, despite hovering around that 500 mark, are in contention for the playoffs, either winning their division or as a wild card in the American League, which is pretty mediocre this year. Speaking of baseball, last night they had the Little League Classic in Williamsport, where they have the Little League World Series. Those championship games coming up next weekend, but yesterday they do, like they always do, they have two major league teams play not in the Little League park, but another park that's on the campus there, and it's always kind of a cool deal to watch. It was the Brewers and the Braves last night. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, the players seem to enjoy it. It kind of puts them back in touch with when they were kids, you know? So that's neat.
That's pretty awesome. Someone has maybe an answer to the mushrooms analogy.
Okay.
How we're mushrooms. I believe the caller who said the government was treating us like mushrooms was referring to how mushrooms are grown, kept in the dark, and covered in excrement.
That's true. That's a good point. Does that mean we're going to end up on a pizza?
It could be. Could be. I prefer pineapple. How is that grown?
Yeah. Pineapple. All right. Other sports news yesterday. So the WNBA is continuing to be interesting.
Why do we keep talking about this?
Did you see what happened yesterday?
No.
So Enes Kanter was at the...
Who?
Enes Kanter, the former NBA player. He's one of the former NBA players that says he's going to identify as a woman now so he can get drafted.
Is he being serious?
He's trolling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's showing the absurdity of it all. So he was at the game yesterday, and one of the players on one of the teams just started like yelling at him. And he's just standing there like, okay. And then they kicked him out.
Oh, no.
But it just continues to be this PR disaster. All because they won't bow the knee to saying that only women should be in women's basketball. So, yet, going back to the Little League thing, one of the players that's gotten a lot of buzz this year is actually a girl who plays for one of the teams. And even during the game yesterday, they showed that a lot of the other boys were coming up to her, like getting her autograph and stuff like that. So it was kind of cool. Her name is Kinley Rasmus. I think it was her uncle, Colby Rasmus, played in the MLB a few years ago. But the other night against Washington, she tossed 6 scoreless innings and allowed just 1 hit. So, pretty cool.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yep. 2-way player for the Phoenix City, Alabama team. As that series continues. So for 12-year-olds, that's kind of fun to be playing in the Little League World Series.
Mm-hmm.
NFL over the weekend, Harrison Butker. Remember last year he got a little bit of trouble for voicing his opinion on relationship matters, when basically all he was talking about were traditional values. But anyway, over the weekend he had a 69-yard field goal. How crazy is that? 69.
That's a long ways.
Your guy Aubrey on the Cowboys can boot it a long way too.
I think it was 68 or so. Maybe
Yeah.
69. I don't know.
Closer to home, we got the news. The Rapids Parish Journal, Bob Tompkins has an article on how Kramer Funeral Home has sold. Believed to be Alexandria's oldest continuing business, was established by John Kramer in 1875, has been sold to Beacon Funeral Partners, probably privately held company out of Houston. Apparently, Mr. Kramer, who is 87 now, Graham Kramer, said that it's his 62nd year in the business. Figured it was time to make some changes. He said, someone asked me how long I've been there. I said, since the 2nd book of Genesis. His 54-year-old daughter, Sarah, was also part of the business, but chose not to continue in the tradition as she's pursuing other interests. So, new company will own Kramer Funeral Home.
I knew this last week, and I was trying to confirm it, but I'm glad he got it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, it's a big job for one person to do. All right, let's get another call in. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Good morning.
Hey.
I just want to call in and say that lady that is on trial for mental illness, it is possible that she was hearing voices, because that does happen, and telling her to do things, and that's not abnormal. But they be over sedating people and putting people on medicine that doesn't help the problem that they might be going through. It's just something to sedate them, to either speed them up or put them down. And that doctor that was giving her that medicine, she should be the one that's on trial and being investigated, but just keep giving that lady the medicine instead of taking time to have her observated in other ways.
I know people do feel that way, and I hate to cut you off, but we're at the top of the hour and our music is playing, so we got to go. Tomorrow will be Stephen and Nathan with you. I'll be back on Wednesday. Have a good Monday, everybody.